I have with me Brian Krassenstein, and Brian is the editor-in-chief and co-founder of IR.net, independent reporter. And we got to give out his Twitter as we move forward this morning. I wanted to talk to Brian about these things. Brian, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, thank you for coming on. So Brian, you, just for the record, is it true that you are a liberal?
I don't like labels like that. I voted Democrat. I believe in a lot of liberal views, I'd say.
And why don't you like the labels?
Because I don't think that anything's cut and dry. I think anybody can fit into different categories, and I don't like to categorize my views.
What causes you to vote for the Democrats or liberals?
I believe in progression. I think that we need to look forward instead of back. I think that we got to look towards technology rather than the old ways of doing things.
Right.
That's just some of it.
Give me one example of how liberals/Democrats are progressive.
I mean, technologically speaking, I know a lot of people don't believe in climate change, but the future's green energy, solar energy, wind energy. It's not fossil fuels. This is the way forward. I feel that we're letting China kind of take that market from us, and it's going to hurt us in the future.
Where do you stand when it comes to the Second Amendment? Are you in support of getting rid of the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms?
Absolutely not. I think the Second Amendment is very important.
And why?
It's an amendment to our Constitution where we can't just get rid of it. I think that it just goes back to 1790. It's part of America's culture. It allows us to protect ourselves. I mean, there's several reasons.
And so what do you think about this so-called March for Our Lives that happened this past weekend where they want to ban certain guns? Are you in support of banning guns, any guns at all?
I would be in support of banning certain weapons. I think that the children and adults who marched this last weekend, I think they had good points. I don't support all of them, but I support many of them.
And which one you disagree with?
Which ones do I disagree with?
Yes.
Well, I mean, there are people calling for us to abolish the Second Amendment, and I don't agree with that.
Yeah. Do you agree with me that the so-called children who are involved in this fake rally, March for Our Lives, do you agree with me that the children are dumb and that they have been dumbed down by the children
I
of the lie?
absolutely don't agree with that.
And why not?
Why don't I agree that the children are dumb? What children are you talking about? I mean, there were thousands and thousands of children there.
Right. All of those who participated in that rally over the weekend, I can clearly see that they're stupid and dumb and that they're being used and brainwashed by the children of the lie.
You think that Emma Gonzalez is stupid and dumb?
Is that the girl with the short hair? The bald hair? Yes, absolutely. She's an idiot.
What's your reasoning for that?
Well, first of all, she's the head of the gay straight alliance at her school. That's a dumb idea. Secondly,
that's your opinion. I don't think it's dumb at all.
Why not?
Why isn't it dumb?
Right.
Because she has a right to be gay and straight.
But she's encouraging others to support it, and we all know that it's wrong.
She's encouraging others to be themselves. I don't think that's wrong at all. I think that's brave of her to come forward and do something like that.
The children, I went out and I interviewed some of the so-called children of this rally, and they had no idea what they were talking about. And so when I asked who told you this, they said the teachers and their parents told them this because children are not normally interested.
Told them what?
That the guns are bad. We need to ban guns. We need to not armed teachers in schools and places like that. Do you agree that teachers should be armed in schools?
I don't agree that teachers should be armed, no.
And why not?
Oh, first of all, 93% of teachers don't agree that they should be armed. That's one of the big reasons. I think teachers are there to teach, not to shoot at people. I don't know. That's one of the main reasons I think that they shouldn't be armed.
But the 93 of teachers who disagree with being armed are liberals, and you have the 7% who agree.
How do you know that they're liberals? How do you know they're not conservatives?
Because normal people understands, and it makes sense that you should protect yourself from the criminals, and the only way to do it is to be armed. Because if someone goes into a school unarmed and you're not armed, they're going to kill you.
But you're defining normal people in a way that you look at normal people, but that might not be what a normal person is. I mean, are you going to have? Do you want to have teachers who are nervous firing a weapon into a crowded area of students trying to hit a gunman? I don't think that's smart. I think that when the police do apprehend the individual, they're going to have a teacher firing back. Are they going to know who they're apprehending? I think a good alternative would be to have more armed guards at school who are highly trained in this kind of thing.
Well, we can have both, and those teachers who will be armed will also be trained. And if they're well trained, they won't be nervous in using a gun. You agree with that?
I don't know. I mean, when you're in that kind of situation, you don't know if you're going to be nervous or not. You can train all you like, but some of for instance, police officers, they train every few weeks. They train. If you're training once out of a year or whatever you're suggesting, you don't know how you're going to react when a man walks into a school and starts firing off an AR-15 at students. I don't think that anybody can know how they're going to react.
But that's why you're being trained, so that when a situation arises, the training kicks in.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Not going to be nervous.
I don't know if I trust the training when there's hundreds of kids around and you're trying to hit a moving target. I don't know how much I trust that.
That's amazing. And so, do you trust the police when they have to carry out or go after the bad guy?
Yes, I do.
And the reason they're able to do it is because they've been trained, right?
Yes, highly trained.
And so why would you trust the police but not trust the armed teachers who have been trained?
Because they're highly trained. They have training courses monthly. If you want to have teachers train for years in situations and have actual life experience in dealing with these things, then then you can arm the teachers. But that's going to be few to no teachers.
And so you're in support of having armed guards in the school, right?
Yes, I would be in support of that.
That's amazing. Do you believe that there is such a thing as police brutality?
Yeah, I believe there's been instances of police brutality, yes.
And where's the proof of that?
The proof? It's human nature.
Oh,
People react in ways they might not have wanted to react.
But
people get scared.
But that wouldn't be brutality, though, right?
I don't know. How are you defining brutality?
I hear a lot of liberals say that there, of all colors, I believe, say that there is police brutality, but I don't see any proof of it.
What's your definition of proof? What are you looking at for proof?
I mean,
there's videos of police acting improperly. I would say that's proof.
You would, but would you call it?
Are you trying to get me to say that all police are committing police brutality? No, I think that most police, 99.9% of police, are great police officers doing the right thing. But I think that sometimes, whether they're doing it on purpose or not, they overexceed their force, and that could be nerves. It could be whatever.
But not police brutality.
What's your definition of police brutality? That's what I'm asking.
I don't believe that it exists. So I'm trying, and I know I hear it a lot from the liberals, but no one has been able to prove it or really define it And that's why I'm asking you to see what you thought about it.
I don't know how you're defining it. I don't claim there's rampant police brutality.
Amazing. You don't really sound like a liberal then. I think they have you confused.
I don't know. I like I said, I don't label myself.
Let me take a quick break, Brian. I'm talking with Brian Krassenstein. Brian, you have a Twitter account or anything you want to give out to the folks?
Yeah, it's just my last name, at Krassenstein, KRASSENSTEIN. And I just tweet about politics, I guess.
I reported on a school, I believe it's in Pennsylvania somewhere, that is, rather than having the teachers armed in the school, the superintendent put buckets of rocks into the classrooms so that if a person should come in with a gun, then the student and the teachers can throw rocks at the gunman. What do you think of that idea?
I think that's kind of a silly idea.
Oh, God. What's your impressions of liberals, so-called progressive and liberals? What's your impression of them?
What's my impression? I think they have a lot of good points. I think that a lot of their platform is a positive one.
But they are coming up with these kinds of ideas of putting rocks in the classroom. They want to disarm America or Americans.
That's one instance, though. You can't base an entire political party on one instance of some idiotic idea.
They don't want to put up a big, beautiful wall around the borders to stop illegal aliens from coming in. What do you think of that idea, to put a wall up?
I don't agree with the idea.
You don't want a wall around the borders to stop the illegals?
No, I think there's better ways to spend $25 billion.
Really? You want them to just come into our country and we spend that money on taking care of them?
No, I think that there's better ways to prevent undocumented immigrants from coming here other than a wall that's going to be more efficient than a wall.
Like what, for example? Nothing else has worked thus far.
Well, there's already fences in place. You can strategically put those fences in place and also use advanced technologies such as radar units and cameras and ground sensors and kind of cordon those people into a certain area and then have agents on the ground there communicating with airplanes or helicopters. And this would be a lot cheaper than spending $25 billion for a wall just because Trump wants to boost his ego.
When you call them undocumented aliens, is that the same as illegal aliens?
I think I said undocumented immigrants.
Right. Is that the same as illegal aliens?
I don't know. I mean, I like to call them undocumented immigrants because I don't.
Why not call it what it is, illegal aliens, rather than undocumented?
It's just the words I choose to use.
Which would sound more...
Why don't you say undocumented?
Because it doesn't sound as realistic as illegal aliens. Illegal define exactly who they are. Undocumented mean that they could have come through the front door and lost their papers or didn't file. But illegal aliens are coming across and breaking the law.
Dreamers were undocumented, but they're not illegal. So it really depends what you're talking about.
But the dreamers are illegal.
They aren't illegal.
Yes, they are. They're truly illegal. That's why they're fighting.
They're illegal in the sense of maybe a law that was written, but they're here legally right now. They're not going to be deported. They're here without fear until DACA expired.
Well, let me ask. Illegals are coming across the borders, and they are ending up in the urban areas. And they are affecting black people first and foremost when it comes to education, jobs, health care, violence, because most of these people hate black people. A lot of black folks are leaving their communities like Compton, California, and other areas and moving back to the South.
They
Does it
hate black people? What evidence are you using to make this determination that they hate black people?
The violence against blacks in South Central and other areas is overwhelming. That's why a lot of blacks
Are these from immigrants, or are these from everybody?
mostly illegal aliens toward blacks because they're bringing in,
I haven't seen
MS-13. But I'm seeing
any
it every day.
evidence that.
I'm seeing it every day. You're not in the hood as I am.
But you're basing it off of a small scope of your surrounding area. You're not basing the entire country.
I hear from blacks around the country. But
I see plenty of people here in Fort Myers. There's immigrants and there's African Americans who are living side by side and they get along just fine. So if you're viewing it from my viewpoint, it's counter to what you're saying.
It was reported by the Southern Poverty Law Center. And they're far left liberals. Do you believe them?
What was reported?
That illegals are attacking black folks. Hate crime from Mexicans targeting blacks have gone up.
Hate crime of Mexicans targeting blacks have gone up since when?
Well, just answer that. Do you believe the SPLC when they say that is happening?
If that's a statistic that they put out, yes, I would believe that, but I'm not so certain that that's an actual statistic that they're putting out.
Does it bother you? My question is, does it bother you that illegals are affecting blacks first and foremost?
It bothers me if anybody's getting hurt or injured.
How about if they're affecting black people first and foremost? Does that bother you?
It bothers me if anybody's getting affected.
I'm only asking about the blacks. Does it bother you that illegals are affecting blacks in a negative way?
Yes, just as they might be affecting white people in a negative way.
But I'm not asking about white people. I'm only asking about blacks.
It bothers me. If that's the case, it bothers me.
What's your impression of the Great White Hope?
The what?
The Great White Hope. What's your impression of him?
The fake white dope? Fake white dope?
What's your impression?
Is that what you said?
The Great White Hope. What's your impression of President Trump after being there for a year now? Over a year.
I don't approve of much of what he's done.
And why not? What is it that he's done that you don't approve of?
I mean, there's plenty that he's done that I don't approve of. You want me to list them all?
Give me 2 or 3.
He's increasing our deficit when he said he was going to take in the opposite direction. He is not making good on his campaign promises.
What is it that he's not making good on?
Is Mexico paying for that wall of his?
Well, the wall's not up yet.
Is Mexico going to pay for it?
Yes, Mexico will pay.
How are they going to pay for it? They came out and said they're not paying for it, so I don't think they're actually going to pay for it.
They will reimburse us. Don't worry.
How is it? Why would you say that? What evidence do you have saying that they're going to reimburse us for the wall when they came out and said they're not?
I take him at his word.
Well, that's not good enough for me.
Brian, let me ask.
He's constantly lying, so how can you take him?
He hasn't lied about anything. That's just sad.
He hasn't lied about anything? Do you want me to spend the next 20 minutes listing all of his lies?
The president has been accused of being a racist. Do you believe that to be true?
Do I believe he's a racist?
Right.
I can't say that. I don't know what's going on in his mind. Do I think that some of the things he says and done could be construed as being racist? Absolutely.
Do you think he should be impeached?
That's going to be up to whatever Robert Mueller finds.
What's your personal thought? Do you think he should? You have the Wicked Witch of the West, Maxine Waters and others, the low IQ woman, and others.
I don't think he should be impeached until Robert Mueller finishes his investigation because it's not going to. The Congress isn't going to vote for it.
Brian,
since it's Republican.
Can I hold you over for one more segment?
Sure.
I have some questions that I didn't get to, and I really want to hear from you about them. So I'm talking to Brian Krassenstein, and he's an editor-in-chief and co-founder of IR.net. So, Brian, I noticed on Twitter that the liberals were suggesting that you not conversate with me today. Why are liberals afraid to conversate with real people?
I don't think they are. This might have been a couple people on my Twitter feed. I don't know. I didn't read the comments.
You did not read them?
No.
So I want to ask, What is a man?
What is a man?
Yes.
What kind of question is that?
What is a man?
A man is a person with male sexual organs.
And that's all he is?
Yes.
So a man is just a male with sexual what?
Organs?
Organs. And so are you a man?
Yes, I'm a man.
Are you a beta male or an alpha male?
I don't know. Like I said, I don't like labels, so I have no clue.
Are you strong or weak?
I think I'm strong.
Then you would be an alpha male.
Okay.
And why are alpha males so hated today in America by the radical feminist women? They hate men. They want to destroy them. And then beta males, they hate their own identity. Why is that?
I haven't seen any evidence of this, so I can't answer that question.
You're not aware of the attack on straight, white, conservative, Christian men of power?
No, I'm not.
Why do you think that? Are you aware of the attack on the Great White Hope?
The fake white dope? Yeah, I am aware that people are attacking the president, but I think justly so.
And they're doing it, though, because he is an alpha male, and they can't control him.
Well, what do you consider an alpha male? Somebody that brags about grabbing women by the private parts, or someone that cheats on their wife several times with a porn star?
Well,
Is that considered an alpha male?
You don't have any proof that he cheated with her, because you can't trust a hooker.
But it's been more than just she's not a hooker either. She's an adult entertainer.
Adult entertainment, a hooker, adult entertainment, the same thing. They just changed the name.
There's a major difference between the two.
They changed the name to try to make it sound better, so you don't really realize the reality.
No, there's actually a difference between sleeping with someone as a prostitute and someone is paid to make a video for entertainment purposes.
So do hookers get paid? Most hookers get paid to have sex with men?
What was that?
Do hookers get paid to have sex with men?
Yes.
And do adult entertainers get paid to have sex with men?
Yes, sometimes, but there's a clear difference.
So what's the difference then?
All right, whatever. That's
So Brian, my last question for you. Are you a Christian?
No, I'm Jewish.
Oh, you're Jewish? Oh, yeah, that's
Yes.
right. Your name is Jewish. And so do you believe, I mean, your last name is Jewish. Do you believe there's a right and a wrong?
Yeah, but I tend to use my own morals rather than what a book says.
Your own morals? You don't use God's morals?
I'd rather use what I think is right and wrong. I treat people how I want to be treated. I don't treat them how a book that's thousands of years old tells me how to treat them.
Amazing.
But that's just my opinion.
And where do you get your morals from?
Where do I get them from? I
Yes.
guess that's just how I was raised. I was raised with strong morals.
So you got them from your parents?
Yeah, a major part of them, yes.
And do they know that you don't believe in the values of God, the morals of God?
I didn't say I don't believe in the values of God. I just don't. I told you that I live my life based on my morals rather than what it says in a book. And it's not saying that I'm just saying that that's how I live my life.
Amazing. And Brian, but the values in the book that's been around forever and a day, didn't those values come from God?
I don't know if they did. Some people believe they did. Some people believe they didn't.
That's amazing. Do you believe racism exists?
Yes, I believe racism exists.
Do you have any proof that racism exists?
Yeah.
And what's your proof?
Slavery.
That's not racism. That wasn't about
That's not racism. Taking only black people and taking them to a new continent to dehumanize them and have them act as your slave isn't considered racism?
But it was the blacks in Africa, Mommy Africa, who sold other blacks to the Arabs, and the Arabs sold them to the world. So where's the racism in that?
The white people that owned these people were racists.
But there were blacks who owned them as well. Were they racist as well?
Were they racist?
Yes.
I don't know. I can't answer that.
Oh, so you know that the whites who owned them were racist, but you don't know that the blacks who owned them were racist.
If you own an individual based on their race, you're racist.
And so
you didn't have white people with white slaves.
Whites have been enslaved as well. But let me ask, so are those blacks who...
Not in the United States.
Were those blacks who own black people as slave racist?
It was their same race, so probably they were not racist. They were opportunists.
How about the Arabs who own blacks as slaves even today? Are they racist?
Absolutely.
Oh, so you're sure about everybody but the blacks?
Do you believe in racism?
No, it does not exist. Has never
You don't think
existed.
racism exists?
No, and I grew up on a plantation in Alabama.
Well, that's your opinion. I would say that there's ample evidence to prove that racism exists.
But you gave me none.
I just gave you an example, slavery, and there's plenty more if you want me to.
Brian, thank you so much for being with me, man. I appreciate it.
Okay.
We'll have you back.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Brian.